Kaivalya Pada, the fourth and final chapter of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, explores the ultimate state of liberation, Kaivalya or transcendental aloneness. This chapter serves as the culmination of the yogic journey, emphasizing the dissolution of karmic influences, the transcendence of all mental modifications, and the realization of the self as pure consciousness. The illusion of perfection, Sutras 4.1-4.6. Kaivalya Pada begins by addressing the sources of mystical powers, siddhis. Patanjali explains that these powers arise from birth, mantra, austerity, drugs, or deep meditation. However, these attainments are not the ultimate goal of yoga, but rather distractions along the path. A yogi may experience supernatural abilities, yet these are still within the realm of prakriti, nature. True liberation lies beyond such powers, in the dissolution of the ego and the realization of purusha, pure consciousness. In Kaivalya Pada, Patanjali emphasizes that siddhis, supernatural abilities, arise naturally as a byproduct of deep yogic practice, but they are not the ultimate goal. These powers, such as clairvoyance, levitation, or mastery over nature, may seem extraordinary, yet they can become distractions if the yogi becomes attached to them. True yoga does not lie in accumulating abilities, but in transcending even the most miraculous attainments, ensuring that the mind remains unshaken by their allure. For ultimate liberation, Kaivalya, the mind must be completely purified from all attachments, including the desire for power, knowledge, or sensory experience. This process requires the dissolution of all mental constructs, where even the subtlest impressions, samskaras, that bind the soul to conditioned existence are removed. Once the yogi is freed from external influences and internal identifications, they realize their true nature, the pure, unbounded consciousness, purusha, existing beyond time, space, and the cycle of birth and death. The web of karma, Sutras 4.7-4.12, Patanjali describes how karma shapes our existence through three categories. 1. Good or positive karma. 2. Bad or negative karma. 3. Mixed, a combination of both. For an enlightened yogi, karma no longer binds them, as they have dissolved their ego identity. Past impressions, samskaras, continue to create cycles of birth and rebirth, but when these impressions are burnt in the fire of wisdom, the yogi becomes free. Time itself is illusory. Past, present, and future are merely phases of a continuous flow. Patanjali teaches that liberation arises when one ceases to identify with these fleeting changes. Karma weaves the patterns of the mind, shaping our thoughts, emotions, and tendencies based on past actions. Every experience leaves an imprint, reinforcing cycles of habit and reaction. However, wisdom acts as a purifying force, dissolving these impressions and breaking the chains of conditioned responses. When a yogi cultivates true knowledge, they no longer identify with the fluctuations of the mind or the results of past deeds. Instead of being bound by karma's cause and effect loop, they act from a space of pure awareness, unburdened by attachment or expectation. The concepts of past and future are illusions created by the mind's impressions. Memories of the past and anticipations of the future exist only as mental constructs, trapping individuals in a cycle of longing and regret. The enlightened yogi, having realized the transient nature of time, transcends these limitations. Free from the weight of past actions and indifferent to future outcomes, they step beyond the cycle of karma, resting in the stillness of the eternal present. In this liberated state, the yogi moves through life with effortless grace, untouched by the shifting tides of cause and consequence. The mirage of reality, Sutras 4.1-4.22. The world is a projection of the three gunas, sattva, harmony, rajas, activity, and tamas, inertia. A yogi realizes that all objects are temporary manifestations, and true knowledge arises only when the mind is no longer colored by these tendencies. The seer, once identified with external phenomena, realizes that they are nothing but reflections of his own conditioned mind. The material world is ever-changing, a fleeting illusion shaped by perception and experience. Everything we see, touch, and hold is in a constant state of transformation. What seems real today may fade tomorrow. This impermanence creates attachment and suffering, as the mind clings to what is bound to change. The yogic path teaches that true reality is not in the external world, but in the unchanging awareness that observes it. The deeper one understands this, the less they are entangled in the illusion of form and separation. When the mind becomes still, the illusion of duality dissolves, revealing the underlying unity of existence. In silence, the restless fluctuations of thought subside, and a profound stillness arises. This stillness is not emptiness, but the essence of true being, pure awareness that exists beyond objects, beyond change, beyond even thought. The realized yogi sees that reality is not in the transient forms of the world, but in the eternal presence of consciousness itself. It is in this space of pure awareness that ultimate freedom and peace are found. The final release, Sutras 4.233 to 4.34, Patanjali concludes by describing the final state of Kaivalya. The mind, once purified, ceases to exist as an independent entity. It becomes a mirror reflecting the pure light of Purusha. When all desires and impressions are dissolved, the yogi remains in their true nature, unchanging, infinite, and free. The dissolution of Prakriti's influence marks the end of ignorance. The gunas, having fulfilled their function, withdraw, leaving behind pure, undifferentiated consciousness. Liberation, or Kaivalya, is not something to be achieved or gained. It is the realization of what has always been present. The true self, the Purusha, is already free, untouched by time, action, or identity. However, due to the conditioning of the mind, this truth is obscured, like the sun hidden behind clouds. The yogic journey is not about acquiring freedom, but about dissolving the illusions that veil it. When ignorance, avidya, is removed, the self shines in its natural state, eternal, unbound, and pure. As the mind undergoes purification through disciplined practice and wisdom, it ceases to distort reality. Instead of projecting fears, desires, and past impressions onto the world, it becomes a clear mirror, reflecting things as they truly are. This purified awareness leads to Kaivalya, a state of absolute freedom beyond concepts, beyond duality, beyond even the mind itself. In this transcendental aloneness, there is no seeker and nothing to seek. There is only existence, limitless and undivided. In conclusion, Kaivalya Pada serves as a profound teaching on the final state of yoga. The journey does not end with mystical powers, deep meditative states, or even great wisdom. It concludes with the total dissolution of the ego and the realization that the self has always been free. In the words of Patanjali, the final step is to let go of even the subtlest clinging to knowledge itself. When nothing remains to be known and the seeker and the sought merge, transcendental aloneness shines forth. This is the true goal of yoga, not power, not wisdom, but absolute freedom. Kaivalya, the ultimate realization of the self. Please like this video, subscribe, or follow this channel and share the timeless wisdom with the world. Om Tat Sat.